Was good, was good. Shoot, it ain't really that hype tonight. All right, I'm gonna do this post fight analysis. Um if y'all catch it live, that's cool. If you catch it in the archive, that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? Um well, one thing for sure is I know how to say the dude name now. It's Adam Kownacki, not Kownacki. But anyway, salute LDBC 100 for sure. Um, I mean, the fight basically it was exactly what most people expected. Kownacki, we already know what he comes to do. He's a big old boy. He weighed in about 266 pounds, which is probably the heaviest that he's weighed in since he's been fighting as a professional. Um, Looks can be deceiving. You look real pudgy around the midsection like he always does, but both of these guys, him and Chris Arreola, would set the record for the most punches thrown in a heavyweight fight, as both combatants threw over 1,000 punches. I think that's very impressive for heavyweight boxing. Usually, they heavyweights being there hugging on each other for 12 damn rounds, and never really that active. This modern era of heavyweights, we've been seeing a lot of fighters in that division letting their hands go more often than not, and it's making the heavyweight division exciting to watch. And as we see, whether it's Wilder fights or this guy Kownacki, who's of Polish descent, they got and them having a nice Polish demographic in New York. They're selling tickets. Guys are actually showing up at these events to watch the heavyweights fight. There's also a large Polish community in Chicago, so don't be surprised if you see Kownacki doing something big in Chicago. Um, but we expecting an explosion to take place between these two heavyweights. We already know Chris Arreola has spent the better part of his career making for exciting fights, letting his hands go, showing toughness, and usually beating guys in the exchanges. And that's why he has the record that he has of 38-6-1 with 33 knockouts. Most people would look at the 6 losses and, frown upon that. But when you feel, it look like it's unstable. All right. I'll continue. If it continues to do that, I'll just do this tomorrow. But I wanted to get it done tonight. Anyway, Chris Arreola and Adam Kownacki, like I said before, looks are deceiving. They don't have the bodies of like Greek gods or bodybuilders. As I've said many times, bodybuilding and boxing are two separate sports and should be respected as such. But when you have big guys in there throwing with the type of volume that these guys are producing, you got to tip your hat to them. They must be doing something correct to be able to have that type of conditioning and stamina, though they look the way they look in the ring physically. And in this fight, like I said before, Kownacki did what he does. He comes forward with those thudding shots. He always lead behind the jab. He keeps his hands up fairly well. And in this fight, I thought he would lose. I thought Chris Arreola would get the best of the big guy, bust him up, because Kownacki bruises rather easily, even in fights that he's winning handily. It doesn't take much to bruise him up, but he proved me wrong. He stood in there, he stood in the paint, stood in the middle of the ring with Arreola and gave as good as he got, and actually gave a little bit more than what he got. And I really expected him to be that active because you don't have to tell that big guy to let his hands go. That's what he do. He gets in there, he lets his punches go in combination. He's not looking for one punch at a time. He ain't necessarily looking for one punch power. He gonna beat on you as long as you want to stand over there. And with those thudding shots that he had, most guys are not standing up to that type of thunder. But Chris Arreola, under the guidance of Joe Goosen, um, great trainer, Joe Goosen. I think it's his first time working with him, but Joe Goosen been around a long time. Used to train Chico. Um, he told him to keep that high guard. You keep your punches short, smother his attack, stay right in front of him, and if he comes forward, you go forward and meet him and make it a phone book fight. And I think that was a good strategy because Kownacki's power is at the end of his punch. What I mean is the thud that he delivers on his opponent usually happen when he has full extension on his shots. But it made for an entertaining fight, man. And Chris Arreola proved he has a lot in the tank. He just went 12 rounds, threw over 1,000 punches, and lost on the scorecards to a rising heavyweight prospect on the cusp of possibly getting a world title shot. We saw the champ was ringside, Deontay Wilder doing color commentary, and we'll have to see what happens on that note. You know what I'm saying? But it was a good night of heavyweight boxing. Kownacki did what he had to do to improve his record of 20-0, and he keeps making noise, man. That's a big boy, fat boy problem. You know what I'm saying? And when he get in there with that boy, Wilder, I think it'll be a little different story. Um, a lot of people would probably think that because Wilder is so thin and tall, that Kownacki will present more of a problem than normal. But Deontay Wilder from Alabama backwoods, I know I'm from the South, and most people outside of Texas would call us country. But ain't nobody country than who we call country. And Deontay Wilder is country. I mean, he grew up, he like from rural Alabama. They grew up eating squirrels, turtles, possums, nutria rats, raccoons, and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about country. That's country right there. And that's why he got that country ass power, because he eating that wild game and shit like he a fucking lion, you know? And I ain't eating that shit. I ain't never ate a damn turtle or a rabbit or anything like that. That ain't my spill. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the South, but it's a city down here for y'all that ain't never been in the South. We just sound country as hell. But that boy, they're real country. He got that country ass power. Tough ass, tall ass, lanky ass dude. Ain't never seen nothing like that Wilder, man. So while he probably would pose a threat, as Luis Ortiz poses a threat. A lot of fighters pose a threat. Doesn't mean that they're gonna be successful when them boys meet up in the ring. So we'll just have to see about that. But until then, we'll just have to see what happens with Wilder and Ortiz and Ruiz and Joshua, and where Kownacki is gonna fit in that equation. Areola's gonna contemplate retirement, as he should. He don't have nothing else to prove, if he wants to continue to try to see if he can win a heavyweight world title, the climb is going to be a whole lot steeper than it was when he was just trying to go through Bermain Stavern. So we'll just have to see what Chris Arreola does moving forward. He said he's going to talk to Al Heyman, talk it over with his family, and come up with the best decision for himself. Marcus Brown lost his title, man. He was controlling the fight rather easily against John Pascal, former world champion at light heavyweight, I believe at 68 too. But being that it was a style clash, him Brown being a southpaw, the style clash is supposed to favor the southpaw. It's not often you can bring in or find quality southpaw sparring when you're training for a fight. It ain't like southpaws growing trees excuse me. It ain't like southpaws growing trees in these gyms. You know what I'm saying? But Pascal, being a wily veteran, did what he does, man. He brought the fight in close, put pressure on the young fighter, and when he found an opening and caught the young guy slipping, boom, hit him with a big overhand right, put him on his fucking ass in round 4. Marcus Brown, inexperienced champion, got up before the referee even counted to 1. Didn't even take time to get his legs up under him and get his faculties in order. I guess he was trying to prove to himself, to his opponent, and to the crowd that it was just a flash knockdown. As we would see in the next round, he tried to come out and press the action and throw more punches, and the punches were available on John Pascal. And some found their target, some didn't. But he was really trying to show that man that he's in there with him. You know what I'm saying? That he not going to lay down just because he in there with a former world champion. But he continued to do what he do. You know what I'm saying? Leading behind the jab, trying to use the ring, was moving well. But once again, he would continue to get careless in spots. And in those particular spots, Pacquiao would pick up on it, boom, hit him with the same punch, put him back on his ass. Now he hurt. He hurt for real. He getting up, he holding, he grabbing, he trying to clinch, he trying to get himself together. He end up getting hit again and and falling forward on Pascal and end up falling on his knees, and the referee ruled that a knockdown. So at this point, the fight is slipping out of his hands. You know what I'm saying? And Pascal got a lot of momentum, so he's bringing the fight to Marcus Brown. And as the fight would take place in close quarters, and it being a style clash of lefty versus righty, in one particular exchange, they both came in, boom, clash ahead, bust Marcus Brown open over his eye. He never got a chance to rack up a couple of more rounds because, after suffering 3 knockdowns, he got to know he's losing the fight, or, he may be down on the cards, but the ringside physician would see fit to call a halt to the fight. And there goes his world title, his interim world title, and a possible world title shot with one of the Russian champions. So that's a harsh lesson for the young champ from New York in his hometown, taking an L, getting cut for the first time as a professional, and losing his title in a fight that was winnable. And kudos to John Pascal, did what he had to do as a veteran, seized on the opportunity to fight for a world title, interim world title, and proved that he got a lot left in the tank. This particular fight was supposed to be a passing of the guard, and I got both these fights wrong. I thought Arreola's experience would prevail over Kownacki, and that was a good fight, though. It ain't like anyone laid down. But I thought Marcus Brown would handily defeat the former world champion in Pascal because he's not the fighter that he used to be. But shut your mouth, Ashy Knuckles. That boy Pascal proved that he's still in this thing. Now, will he do something against Beterbiev or Bivol or Bivol, whatever you want to call it? That remains to be seen. Getting another shot at that guy, that'll be cool. Or maybe one of the other champions. We'll just have to see what happens moving forward. But if it takes place in Canada, it'll be a big fight. They always show up for their champions out there, and they'll make a good, pretty penny in the process. So Marcus Brown, just a tough lesson. It is what it is. Brown should have kept boxing him and not exchanging with Pat. Absolutely. What the hell? You got the dimensions over him. You taller than him. I'm not really sure if he had more reach, but with the height and the reach that he had and his ability and his natural gifts, he should have been able to utilize his youth against the older fighter and just keep him at bay with the jab and set him up for combinations. Because, in this particular fight, Pascal did put his hands up, which was surprising, but there were some moments in the fight where he would revert back to his old school style of fighting, where he would drop his hands and leave his chin not in the air, but leave his face open, unguarded. And Marcus Brown never took advantage of those openings. It's like he was just going through the motions. Marcus Brown problem is he don't have a killer instinct. You know what I'm saying? He don't have that dog in him. I thought, for instance, maybe he had that dog in him because of his fight with what is his fucking name? Badu Jack. I thought he was really, coming into his own as a professional, but maybe I was wrong, man, because this fight was ripe for the taking. But I think Pascal, his bravado and his trash talk and, Pascal ain't scared of nothing. He ain't never been a scary fighter, and maybe that got to Brown. Maybe he was a little bit intimidated by the guy. I don't know, but at the end of the day, he on team rebuild now. So we'll have to see what happens moving forward for the young guy from Staten Island, man. Boxing is not an easy sport. And you got major backing behind you. You with Al Heyman. You got the platform. You fighting in your own hometown. Guess what? Opponents ain't gonna show up just so they can lay down for you. It don't go down like that. Nobody fearing you in that division. So he on team rebuild. We'll see what happens with that boy. You know. In the rematch, take M Brown for all the money. In the rematch, take M Brown. Oh, okay. So in the rematch, you taking Marcus Brown for all the money. What you saying? You willing to take bets on that? Is that what you saying? You may have to holler at the homie D style for that, man. I don't really bet too much unless my mind is made that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt who's gonna win that fight. And that's why I didn't bet on Chris Arreola tonight, because even though I picked him to win, I wasn't confident enough to put that money behind it. And even though it would have been a great payout, no, I had to rethink that. Bevo is tough. Yeah, he's tough. He got a good punch. He got a good punch too. But Turviev, I think he got deceiving hand speed, man. He don't look like much until all of a sudden, boom! You know what I'm saying? Hit these guys and they cooperate. With the power and all. They pretty much show that he got some on those punches. Eastern Europe is killing the light heavyweight division right now, but we got some young guys in that division. We had Marcus Brown, Pascal saying he's still in it. You got Jesse Hart. Um, he's in it. Zerto, that boy Zerto, he in the light heavyweight division now too. Gilberto Ramirez, undefeated Mexican. I think he a southpaw. I forget. But he big though. He big. So, it was only a matter of time before he went to light heavyweight. Why you bullshitting? I think it's a matter of time for David Benavidez have to move up in weight. He a big boy too. So, don't be surprised if light heavyweight turning into the next hot division. It can heat up at any moment. Just need the right fights. Um, you know what? Brown doesn't have a good chin, in my opinion. Apparently not, man, because he took some. Granted, he took those shots he got hit with, he didn't see them, and those are the ones that hurt the most. But I don't know how good of a fighter you have to be to remind yourself to keep your damn hands up. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see any of those right hands. So common sense say keep your left hand somewhere around your side of your face next to your chin. Because he got hit with the same punch. He got put on his ass. And now there's a blueprint out there on how to beat him. And he's a southpaw, and most guys he gonna fight gonna be right-handed. So most right-handed guys are gonna be watching that tape on when they putting together a game plan to beat the young guys. So now he got work to do. He got work to do. He got to go to the gym and work on his skills to prove that was just a fluke. So when he gets in the ring again against another right-handed fighter, he'll be able to show that he's not gonna get hit with the same damn punch over and over and keep getting put on his ass. Will he do it? We'll just have to see about that. But before I go, because I wanted to make this brief, mandatorydefense.com is back online. It's the rebirth. I used to have the site long time ago when I was doing the boxing, going to events and whatnot. I fell off, back then. I went over it, I believe in my last stream. I detailed why, I kind of left the sport of boxing. But mandatory defense is back in full effect. Check it out. It's for us. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a home, so I'm gonna try my best to keep it updated with the latest news. I've been trying to work all my old contacts so they can send me all the updates on like Wilder, all your favorite fighters. I'm gonna keep updating it every day. I'm I'm changing the format every day. You know what I'm saying? If you see some stuff you think you may want to see on the site, let me know. I'll try to put it on there. HTML skills are getting straight retarded now, so it is what it is. So check out mandatorydefense.com. Also, go by Facebook and like my page, man. It's a mandatory defense page, but it's Facebook / come out fighting. Just go to the page, like it. It ain't on fire yet, but I'm gonna keep building it up. I'm putting all damn near everything on there, LDBC, you know what I'm saying? Besides the mandatory defense links and stuff like that. So, like I said, man, I'm just trying to build more than one community for the guys and the ladies can, to go to, and they don't have to deal with, that bull. You can post whatever you want on there. It ain't really got no restrictions. You know what I'm saying? I would hope that we can keep it at least PG-13 for the most part, because Facebook got their own guidelines or whatnot. I don't need them trying to take down stuff I just put together. But that's pretty much all I got for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all stopping in tonight. I'm gonna go get me some damn shut eye and listen to some of these boxing videos probably in the morning. And y'all enjoy y'all weekend, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the fights. It's your boy Ash, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all.